Hey kids, I'm safe. I'm a safe adult to be around. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. This is what giving up looks like, Perna. Somebody who hasn't given up is James Harrison, and he's competing for nothing. Nothing at all. Who was seen pushing 1,960 pounds of weights 7 yards, which could earn James Harrison the world's biggest participation trophy. That's also the furthest 1,960 pounds has moved since Eddie Lacy's last carry with the Seahawks. Now, the NFL schedule is coming out tomorrow, which means the NFL will be giving a lesser league with 50 franchises, the United States, a new timeline for when to reopen the country. We also have a shrinking salary cap on the horizon, possibly Frank Gore returning at age 100, Logan Ryan officially leaving the Titans, and the state of the elite backup quarterbacks in the NFL. Plus, is Jason Peters heading to my Broncos? Ooh, that's good sports. Yes, please subscribe to this YouTube channel for near daily NFL news update videos. Tomorrow we will be live during the NFL schedule release. Well, at least for like an hour. I'm not doing 3 fucking hours on NFL schedules, but Will and I will be live here on this channel. Today's episode, though, is sponsored by Manscaped. Manscaped.com/GoodSports. That's where you get your discount for the Lawnmower 3.0 or any Manscaped products you want. Use that link. And if that doesn't convince you, maybe my poetry about the company will. Stay at home and scape your balls with no fear to scrape your balls. Nothing else to do in quarantine. Prepare your man eggs like Florentine. The Lawnmower 3.0 will safely leave your junk groomed and ready for show. Big, small, thick, tall, Manscaped.com can help you groom them all. Never nick your nuts with its ceramic blades. Make your testes smoother than the Everglades. Diamond textured grip, so your trimming hand never slips. And it's waterproof, so it's always drip. LED light, so it's always lit. Drip, lit. Does that make me hip? No, but between the hips is where I got Manscaped tips. With proper pelvic hairstyling, your girl will walk away smiling. Off your body is where your pubes should be compiling. Disenthralling your junk with Manscaped products is balling. My discount link, manscaped.com/GoodSports, is calling. Woo! Frank Gore has signed a 1-year contract with the New York Jets. That's right, running back Frank Gore, who was drafted in 2005 when Le'Veon Bell was just 13 years old, willingly decided to play in the U.S. coronavirus capital, New York City. Now, Gore is going to turn 37 in about a week and will play with Adam Gase once again while doing his best to lighten Le'Veon Bell's workload. Gore had a lot of success with Adam Gase's offense back in 2018 when we still thought Gore was too old to be in the league. He had 722 rushing yards on just 156 carries, giving him a 4.6 yard per carry average, which was his best since 2012 and his 4th overall best per carry average. Now, I saw a funny post on NFL Reddit about things that were invented after Frank Gore was drafted. The first of which was Reddit, but also Twitter, BuzzFeed, PlayStation 3, the Nintendo Wii, Hulu, the iPhone, and of course, constant fucking internet debates as to whether Frank Gore is a Hall of Famer. Mr. Gore will join Marcus Allen as the last 37-year-old running back to carry the rock. If Gore gets more than 50 carries this season, which is pretty dicey considering the state of the world, he and Allen will be the only running backs over the age 37 to get 50 carries. Marcus Allen's 37-year-old season was ridiculous. He may have only rushed for 505 yards, but he scored 11 fucking tutties and threw 2 touchdowns, the classic Tebow stat line. If Adam Gase designs a pass every game for Frank Gore to attempt, I will reverse my stance on Gase being a terrible human and coach. That's also one less ghost for Sam Darnold to worry about every week. Now, the NFL salary cap could go down for the first time since it was created in 1994 due to the economic shit show we are currently living in. The cap started at $34.6 million in 1994 and is set at $198.2 million this season. Adam Schefter stated on the My Sports Update podcast that he thinks the cap could drop $30 to $80 million in 2021. That's based on Schefter's conversations with some NFL executives around the league.
I want to be very clear about this, but it's a plausible hypothetical at this point in time. If there are no fans in the stands this year and they've played the games, let's say they play 16 games season, no fans, that would mean roughly $100 million less revenue per team. That would be $3.2 billion less revenue, which would be factored into the 2021 salary cap. And the various estimates that I've gotten from various people, from team executives to club owners, is that the salary cap could be down anywhere from $30 million to $80 million in 2021.
That would be the equivalent to payroll numbers from the 2006-2007 seasons. Basically, the first year Frank Gore was considered a veteran player. If it does drop that much, the biggest losers are going to be the quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and Dak Prescott, who are all on track to become the highest paid players ever. Dak will make $31.4 million if he plays on the franchise tag this year, but if the Cowboys did offer him somewhere between $30 and $33 million per season, he should have taken it. The extra playoff games, the additional regular season games are all going to be vital in keeping NFL revenues from tanking. A big factor may be the television packages, as they are due to be re-upped soon. Disney, which owns ESPN, is taking massive losses with all of their parks being shut down. I think there might be a big disparity between what the NFL thought its new TV deals would bring in versus what actually happens now. Gonna be interesting to watch. Now, here's what's crazy though, right now, this moment. We have one report warning about a salary cap drop, which I think is real, but could be a fear tactic to get cheaper deals done with players. Because then you have reports like the Browns might make Myles Garrett the first $25 million per season pass rusher as they plan on extending the Mason Rudolph headhunter. A $25 million deal for Myles Garrett would make him the highest paid contract killer in human history. Failed contract killer. Bleacher Report Twitter gave us the laziest Taysom Hill comparison I've ever seen. And I love Taysom Hill. I mean that, and 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 I mean that. I'm broken. I am broken. Bleacher Report Twitter gave us the laziest Taysom Hill comparison I've ever seen. I love Taysom Hill, and I mean that in the most animalistic way possible. I get excited every time Taysom Hill is on the field, but what the fuck has he actually ever done to earn being compared to Steve Young? They're both fast and played at Brigham Young because they're Mormon, but that's it. All Mormons are fast, by the way, because they get used to quickly fleeing danger after getting chased off people's front porches from a very young age. Credit Steve Young, though, for staying relevant, as Tua Tagovailoa was also compared to Steve Young before the draft since, they're both left-handed. Now, this Bleacher Report headline was suggesting Hill is the heir apparent to Drew Brees, which we already fucking know, and the Steve Young comparison was actually a quote from Sean Payton, who said he believes Hill can be a Steve Young type in and out of the pocket. That leads me to believe Sean Payton hasn't fully recovered from COVID-19. Steve Young is one of the best quarterbacks I have ever watched play the game of football. Their college stats aren't even close, and that's the only sample size adequate enough to even try and make a comparison. They both have an elite ability to rush for touchdowns, I'll give him that, but Hill is a sub 60% passer who had a 12-11 touchdown to interception ratio his senior season at BYU. I just want to live in a world where quarterbacks earn comparisons like that. Hill might turn out to be a great quarterback in the NFL. We really don't know at this point. He's on the right team to succeed, but right now, he's more of a Tim Tebow type than a Steve Young type. Especially if he keeps hitting that bench press. Now that I would watch. Cornerback Logan Ryan is officially not returning to the Titans, and on his way out, in his Instagram post, he advocated for Derrick Henry to get paid. That's pretty cool. Yo, I'm out Tennessee, but pay this beast because without him, we were shit last year. Now, I think any team in need of a third corner would be wise to go after Logan Ryan. Broncos. Now, Ryan did everything last year on defense. He had 4 picks last season, tied for his second best, 18 passes defended, 4 forced fumbles, 4.5 sacks, and 113 combined tackles. His 83 solo tackles were the most in the league by a corner, and he played in nearly 1,100 snaps. That is a ton of production from a corner. Apparently, he won't take anything under $10 million, though, which is the same reason I'm not on television yet. Jerry Seinfeld turned down $10 million from NBC to do a 10th season of Seinfeld, probably because he made more money annually gambling with Michael Jordan, as we learned in The Last Dance. Finally, I think the NFL may have the best backup quarterbacks the league has ever seen. Sunday Night Football tweeted this question asking who the best backup is. On the list, they have Taysom Hill, Case Keenum, Brian Hoyer, Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, and Marcus Mariota. Now, Foles, already a Super Bowl MVP. Mariota and Keenum are playoff winners, as is Hill, but not really as a quarterback. I'd argue, though, that this list isn't nearly long enough for a real debate. There are so many good backups in the league. I think we've all forgotten about Nick Mullins in San Francisco, possibly the best backup in the league in my humble but very correct opinion. Then Miami and LA have unique situations with Tua and Herbert as backups. And if Herbert starts, they have Tyrod Taylor in LA, which is one of the best insurance policies in the league. The Saints have Jameis Winston in addition to Taysom Hill. The Colts have Jacoby Brissett backing up Phillip Rivers. Joe Flacco may land somewhere as a backup. And hell, XFL star PJ Walker is backing up Teddy Bridgewater in Carolina. Then the Packers infamously drafted Jordan Love to back up Rodgers. The Potatoes have Kyle Allen, a starter from last season, backing up Dwayne Haskins. The Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts. And shit, the Ravens still have RG3 behind Lamar Jackson. The only teams who will be royally screwed if their starter gets hurt are the teams that have elite quarterbacks in place, like the Seahawks, Texans, Buccaneers, Chiefs, and my Broncos. If Cam Newton wants to take a Jameis Winston type salary and promises not to bother Drew Lock, then maybe I can agree with Dave Damashek and say he should be a Bronco. However, that money might be better spent on left tackle Jason Peters, who, according to Albert Breer, is drawing interest from the Broncos, who did not pick up Garrett Bowles' 5th-year option before the deadline. To be fair, in Garrett Bowles' 5th year, he'll be the same age as Jason Peters, but still younger than Frank Gore. My point, I think the Broncos should pay Jason Peters. I believe they have the cap space, and it would be an instant upgrade at left tackle and give the Broncos depth at their tackle positions, which they actually definitely, surely, they need. They need that. Sanity. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. If you don't want me to go off the deep end, you've gotta subscribe and convince your mom to subscribe, and then your grandpa to subscribe, and then your friend to subscribe.